Hey, how's it going? My name is Jeremy Eder. Thank you for having me here at OpenShift Commons. I don't remember how many times I've done this. Okay, back to talk about something different. These lights are insane. Thanks for joining us in Paris here, and thank you to Karina and the program committee for setting this up. I want to talk to you today about OpenShift AI, a project that I'm one of the architects on now, which is a hybrid cloud MLOps platform that runs on top of OpenShift. Cool. Now, Adele mentioned earlier that 70% of machine learning and AI projects either fail or are delayed significantly. That is a fact based on some research that we've done, the industry has done. So it's not trivial. So we know that a DIY thing here is probably fraught with issues, and we will bring to you this distribution of a collection of open source projects to ease that transition from DIY to more production-ready platform. So some of the personas that are involved in AI are unique, perhaps to this audience. Those are data engineers, data scientists, sort of a new personality called a machine learning engineer, which is about the person who's responsible for the sort of the production side of the when the model is actually running in production. Kind of like an SRE, but also I guess a little bit more informed about the intricacies of running a model in production. And eventually, I think like those personalities are likely to converge as they become less and less specialized as the industry grows and more people are become familiar with the vernacular and the concepts. And then finally, application developers who are building AI-infused applications. Okay, so an AI-focused platform to train, tune, serve, and monitor and manage AI ML experiments and models. That's what we're building. Still a very challenging process. Skip ahead. So OpenShift AI is the foundation layer for Watson X AI as well. So they're kind of like in the layer cake diagram. We're at the platform layer, and Watson X AI is deploying on top of us, and they're adding things like prompt engineering. They have a data solution, data engineering solution, and data lake solution as well, and as well as the foundation layer for Ansible Lightspeed. Has anyone tried Ansible Lightspeed yet? A couple of people, and so Ansible Lightspeed is a generative AI application that helps you write playbooks. You can just type into VS Code. It spits out playbooks. Super fun, super cool, and you'll start seeing more of those things pop up throughout Red Hat's portfolio as we begin adding those technologies where our customers are asking for them most. Like, let's democratize writing, even though playbooks aren't terribly hard to write. Expressing yourself in natural language opens up and kind of opens up the aperture for people that can participate and write Ansible playbooks. So that's super cool, and again, you'll see that elsewhere in Red Hat's portfolio coming soon. We're partnering with all kinds of model builders. You can pull anything off of Hugging Face. I think I heard someone from Hugging Face is here today. You can deploy those models on top of OpenShift AI today, or you can deploy them on most of them on your laptop to experiment with. Who here has deployed? Who here has worked with ChatGPT? Start there. Okay. And have you deployed a model on your laptop and kind of chatted with that model as well? Is there anyone who's gone that far? I want to say that's maybe 10%. So that's where we're going with a lot of this stuff is like, the more time that this audience spends becoming familiar with this topic, I think the easier the next couple of years will be for like in this platform space. You don't need to become super knowledgeable unless you want to, but at least some basic familiarity with the space is going to be highly encouraged by folks like me. So we're bringing the rest of this we're bringing this technology to the rest of our portfolio as well. Earlier today, someone mentioned, I think Adele mentioned also, hardware enablement. This is a pain in the ass because hardware enablement is the type of thing that Red Hat has become really good at over the years. From the RHEL standpoint, from CoreOS standpoint, and now we're doing the same thing. We did it with NICs over the years, and we're doing it now with GPUs. So you'll start seeing, obviously, we support NVIDIA today, and some follow-ons from Intel are supported Habana, or I think it's called Gaudi. Gaudi 2 in our product. So the more the idea here is for Red Hat to kind of remain Switzerland from a hardware accelerator standpoint. These things are required for training and running these workloads. If you've ever tried to run these things on CPU, you'll understand what I mean by required. And so as additional vendors become available, like AMD, for example, we'll be there to support them. Cool. So yeah, again, that's the hardware side. OpenShift AI I already talked about, and Ansible Lightspeed, Developer Hub. All these things are going to slowly grow AI-related features, hopefully with the idea of improving our users' experience. Okay, so skip that one. Now, let's talk about open source. So this is like, I think from an architect standpoint, this is the area I'm most passionate about. Like to say I'm not religious, but I'm here for religious reasons at Red Hat, I should say. And these are some of the technologies that comprise OpenShift AI right now. And we're constantly adding more, but these are some of the key ones. And so those things get shoved kind of equivalent to OKD. We have a midstream, we call it, called Open Data Hub. That's something you can, if you just Google Open Data Hub, you can get this operator laid down on any OpenShift cluster in like 5 minutes. So installing this thing is super trivial, and you can be up and running with Jupyter notebooks, Kubeflow pipelines, all this stuff. And then eventually, when you're ready to bring it into production, we hope that you contract with Red Hat, either in a managed service format or in the on-prem or disconnected environment. I like to say, like, something that's unique about OpenShift AI is that is that we cater to that disconnected or on-premise persona so deeply, so carefully with everything that we do. So we're looking to capture all of those customers that use us for that reason with OpenShift AI as well, so you can put this software wherever all of your private data is. Okay, so model development, serving and monitoring, lifecycle management, and increased capabilities. The last bit I want to zoom in on. In the first slide, I mentioned there's like 6 different personas that it takes to lifecycle these models. Arguably, that's plus or minus a few, but there will be more than a couple. And so just keep in mind that when you're thinking about workflows for lifecycling models, there's these new personas involved. And the idea behind OpenShift AI is to connect those people in a way that helps reduce the friction. Folks don't seem to be speaking the same language just yet. And that's why I was encouraging folks to like spend some time on the vernacular so you can kind of communicate with these groups. These groups are going to pop up at your company if they haven't already. And so being able to work with them is going to be a huge benefit for you. Okay, I know I'm almost out of time. I'm going to zoom in on one last slide. So this is from Kubernetes. That says 2, I think. That should be enough. This is Red Hat's participation in the Kubernetes ecosystem a couple months back. And the color coding is the areas that Red Hat has focused on from a leadership standpoint, basically because it's either required for us to sell the product or because our customers are particularly like in that space. And so we invest in things like testing and reliability, of course, are the things that we love to add on top of the open source bits. Okay, so this is what we're doing now. And I'd like to say that with a little bit of pride, we've begun that same rollout in the open source AI ecosystem. And so these are some of the projects that Red Hat's invested in now. PyTorch, VLLM, some of these actually these are color coded and these slides are out of date. So I kind of cleaned up this slide. TLDR. We're doing really good in investing in the Kubeflow community. If you've ever tried to operationalize models on Kubernetes, you will very quickly realize you need something like Kubeflow, which is a collection of projects including pipelines, notebooks, there's hyperparameter tuning, and Red Hat's building a model registry into there. So we've done some really good work, I feel like, in the community where we just got elected to the steering committee. I think we're doing release management. We're sponsoring Kubeflow Summit, which I'm about to hustle over to in a few minutes. And then some things like OpenAI Triton, a project that abstracts GPUs from application developers. KubeRay, Kserve, these are also mentioned earlier today. So that's where we're headed on the open source side. Open source models, a little bit less unclear right now. We start seeing things like from the Allen Institute, fully open, Mixtral, Apache 2, Llama 2 has its own license. So the model space a little bit less certain, but definitely on the tooling side, our path forward is open. Thank you.